tour later on, see how we regulate the service today, and look at what we do on a day-to-day basis between the workshop, which is primarily my area as head of engineering, control, which looks at how we get the drivers in the right place, and then as we go up to the innovation centre, the question is, what comes next? What do we want to be doing 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, and how do we start achieving that? So I'll take you upstairs and show you through that. I am wearing a silly suit, which my boss has convinced me I should have on. It doesn't have belt loops, so the trousers are falling down. Please bear with me. Hi there.
Hiya.
How sick of that noise are you getting, Andy? Come on in, crowd round. Move in, squeeze round, otherwise we're not going to fit everybody in. So welcome to our Innovation Centre. This is a space we've put within our own offices to look at how we can change and innovate and go further than we currently do in the bus industry. So we've set the room up as a space to allow people to partner with us and work with us that we wouldn't normally get access to. It's also a good space for us to come and think about what comes next in our service provision. So we've set the room up with 3 areas on the back wall there. A bus stop on the left hand side where you wait for our services. What does that feel like? What is it to wait for a bus? And how can we improve that experience? And we've got a space that we can play with about how that feels. So can we put more information onto the display? Can we do something different with the environment you have to wait in so that you have a bit more confidence that the bus is actually coming? Because however much information we can provide, the bus isn't coming until you can see that pair of headlights driving towards you. The next part is the bus arriving. So we've got the front of the bus, we've got a ticket machine, we've got a windscreen that has got a presentation showing at the moment, and we've got a destination board, so we can look at how we can improve those and connect them up together as well. And then we've got the onboard environment, which is actually the majority of the time you interact with a bus, but it's not one of the key areas that puts people off using a bus. One of the people will travel on a bus and appreciate the environment inside. The bit that puts people off generally is the other end of the pile, the bit we often forget, which is that bus stop environment. To get people onto the bus, we've already won the battle. We can make it nice inside, and we don't do a bad job of that, I hope. But what can we do in terms of the bus stop environment? So there's 2 areas we look at in terms of innovation. One is to aggressively reduce our costs and how we can take cost out of our business, because we are a business. We turn over £32–33 million a year, but we only make a very small margin on that total number. We're only 2–4% margin. So to try and save any cost out of our business means we can offer more to our customers. The other part is how do we grow the number of customers using our service. And Alex, who is just about on cue, is one of our tame inventors who we are using to do both of those things, reduce our cost and grow our customer numbers. I'll talk about Alex and our partnership in a minute. It's civil, but not a civil partnership. So the focus of this room is to encourage partners and partnering. We have produced a space where fundamentally people can apply to our business and partner with us and say, I've got an idea, I want to improve public transport by whatever means they dream up. We can give them a desk, heat, light, internet, an address for their business to operate from, access to all of our data, access to all of our vehicles, our workshops, our fabrication space, and access to our other partners, suppliers, and access to people like Alex. And Alex can access other guys as well. So we can work and form those partnerships and work together with people. So the work we're doing with Alex, for example, Alex said, I have an idea to build a big 3D printer. Alex works with, on a day-to-day basis, these standard size desktop machines. So how do we make a big 3D printer? And we were talking about this, and Alex said, well, how big? And Alex said, well, I want to be able to print big stuff. And that is less than half the height we can print.
That's right.
So I'm interested in this in terms of taking cost out of our business if we can print body panels for buses. And if we can print body panels, there are two benefits to that. We can achieve a pretty good surface finish with some reworking. So we can print big panels, which means I can carry less stock. All I'll need to carry is, does this just lift off? All I'll need to carry as stock is rolls of filament like that, and we can print anything we want to. The other benefit is that we can customise and personalise each thing that we print. So we could write Reading buses into a panel, we could write the fleet number into a panel, we could put the part number on the back, we could put the stock number, we could barcode it. There's clever stuff we can do. So the front panel of that bus behind you has got our logo cut into it and then lit up from behind. Now that's quite a work-intensive process to do. We take a standard panel and then put it into a CNC router and we have to go and cut the logo out. If we were printing it, we'd simply not print that bit. So Alex, do you want to talk a bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm Alex Gibson, I'm ADMG Consulting and based over at Green Park by the Lime Square little area over there, on the end of the 53 bus. And basically I do whatever customers want to do with 3D printing. So we usually end up making things like electronics enclosures. So if you guys have heard of Raspberry Pi computers, this is a sort of case for one of those. And it's made by taking a three-dimensional object, slicing it into lots of flat layers, doodling each of those in molten plastic. It's a bit like a hot glue gun on a robot, and you draw the shape you want on each layer, move up a tiny fraction of a millimetre and then do it all over again. Keep going and you end up with a 3D object, and you can feel the kind of texture and the grain of the layers of it. But that means we can basically make any shape without any wastage of materials. We're not cutting things out of a block. It's quite a clean process. We can reiterate. The parts can be composted in an industrial composter when we're done if we decide that we don't like that part. And in theory recycled. That's something I'd like to work on here at Reading Buses shortly. We've got a filament extruder. All of these things take a bit of space, and I had a latent desire to build a very large 3D printer. There's a local artist I'm working with who commissioned the first prints from it. This isn't it. This is just a test print, if you like. I'm kind of happy with it as an artwork personally, but it's not what he's got in mind. And what we needed was some space to operate, because taking a venue on commercial terms that you could actually put an industrial robot into, challenging. It's not very office friendly, and I would have to rent a commercial unit, and I didn't really have the business case justification to do that. John had some spare space and a desire to see big stuff printed, so we formed a quick partnership, and hopefully will bear fruit.
Yeah.
We're quite happy with the finish that we're getting off the parts that the bus's spray team have sorted out there, so that could happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and what I really like about the partnership that we're working with is that no money has changed hands in either direction. Alex has built his printer in our depot. We will buy parts from him at a sensible rate, and it allows Alex to take the kind of risk because he now has the space for free, and it allows me access to not just the printer, but the other part is the different way of thinking that's changing the mindset of my guys, that we don't just remove brake pads, replace brake pads. We can look at, well, we've got a broken piece of trim, we go through a catalogue and buy a new one, or actually we could glue the old one together so it looks about right, give it to Alex and say, can you print me one of these, and we can print out parts for buses that we can't buy anymore. So we've got a 1960s Route Master in our fleet. There's bits for those buses you can't buy anymore, but you can print them.
Yep.
And actually we could print them, make them better, write ready buses in them, and have a part number embossed into the back of it where no one can see. There's many, many benefits to improving the way that we do business. And the Innovation Centre, that's a good example of what we're trying to grow out of here. The next question is, what else can we do? We had a very young lad, 17-year-old guy, who said, I've got an idea and I've built a prototype. You strap this onto the tree guard at the front of a bus, and it will tell you when the bus taps into a tree branch as it goes past. Because when it hits a small tree branch, that tree branch grows into a bigger tree branch, grows into a bigger tree branch, and eventually it breaks the top deck windscreen. And so we will, autumn time, early autumn is normally the time when this happens. Trees grow during the summer, then it rains and the weight of the water makes the tree branches hang down, and suddenly the tree branch is hanging across the road at upper deck window height. And so the driver will go along, he'll hear a loud bang, but we'll carry on driving. Then we get a bus come back in with a crack across the top deck windscreen. Where did it happen? Well, he was on the Caversham route. Right, somewhere in Caversham there's a low tree branch. And then we get another bus come in with a cracked windscreen. Where's he been? Caversham. Right, it's definitely up in Caversham, then we should go and find out where. Do you remember hearing a loud bang? Yeah. Where were you? Don't remember. Right, okay. And that means that's 2 buses that we've spent £800 on 2 windscreens each. And I still don't know where the tree branch is. And then we have another bus drive it, and so it just kind of compounds. If we have a detector, even if we only fit 1 in 10 of the vehicles, we'll get a GPS location back to say it's here. And hopefully we'll hear it on the branch detector before it's got so bad that it's smashing windscreens. He's working with us, we've got his prototype on. He doesn't operate out here, he lives in Ballymena in Belfast. But through jiffy bags and postage and remote access through our network to his equipment on the bus, we're doing stuff that can reprogram these and help and develop and move that on. Now both of these are looking at reducing our cost. The question is, what can we grow out of here that will grow our number of customers? And that's our next challenge. That's the big challenge, and it's an open offer for anybody who has an idea and wants to come and work with us. We have access and open data to help push on and innovate. Are there any questions? Wow. Okay. So I've got some slides on the wall over here. Alex is making stuff. Are they printed linked together? Yes, that's clever. That is clever.
All in one go.
So there's a presentation going on the wall behind you. That is our land speed record bus we did 2 years ago. Got 80 miles an hour as one of our single decks powered by gas. And we've always been an innovative company and pushed and tried to change the boundaries in terms of public transport. So we were one of the first companies to adopt hybrid buses. We've got a fleet of CNG buses. The blue vehicle on that slide is that one is the 3rd in the country. Gas-powered double deck, and we have the 2nd one as well. The one on the left is Euro 6, it has stop-start technology going on to them now, and the inside of those vehicles is, I think, as much as we've been able to do in terms of changing the feel of a bus. Go and get on the Woodley bus outside, just have a look around inside it, if you don't travel on it. That's the kind of ambience we're trying to bring in the future, and more. And the question is, what more can we do to really push that on? So, how many of you are fairly regular bus users? Good, okay. What can I do to attract the other guys to use the bus to come into Reading?
I live in Worthing, so it's a little bit difficult.
It's more of a struggle, that's beyond as far south as we go.
When you were saying earlier, John, with regard to your detectors with picking branches up and things like that, surely you would be using CCTV and other methods as well to see where the trees are and so on and so forth?
No, because every bus has got 16 cameras on it, double decks anyway. I've got 18 hours of footage to watch. It's not an efficient way of finding the fault. I mean, sure, it's held there, the information will be on there.
No, I just thought it was an extra mechanism for you to use.
In truth, it would be quicker to just go and ride the route.
Yeah.
The CCTV, in theory, has captured the moment it broke.
Yeah.
But you'd end up watching hours and hours and hours of footage going not broken,
Yeah,
not broken,
I think
not
it's
broken.
a brilliant idea.
Broken.
I'm just saying that in addition, I'm sure you've got many ways of seeing.
Yeah, so popping a camera in with the audio detector.
Absolutely, because presumably all the vehicles have got CCTV on anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It ends up being much more useful and much more pragmatic to have something do the electronics do the work for you. Particularly if I'm looking for branches that aren't breaking the screen yet.
Yes.
And from CCTV, at what are they, 12 frames a minute? it's hard to tell with a given particular branch as it goes past the windscreen.
Absolutely.
Was it spindly, or was that a big one? Did it just look big because there were lots of leaves?
I think a hybrid. Is a Raspberry Pi computer with a camera.
Yep.
It might be more a case of adding an extra
So
camera
you
into
actually
the
tell
audio
where you
detector.
are and everything else when it's...
Yeah.
So the two can be
And
worked
add together. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll put you in touch with Conwell and you can have a
Yes.
play. And this is where partnerships develop and ideas come. It's just like people
I
talking.
know Martin quite well actually because
Okay, I'm sorry to hear
came
that.
from Worthing
Yeah.
and he went to school there and so...
As
yeah.
did I for quite a number of years, but that's a
Did
whole
you?
different story.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. He was East Worthing, I lived in West Worthing. Anyway, any more questions?
So it's not bad labour. Is there any chance I could take him to the toilet?
Yeah,
Is there any near?
Yes, if you go out of this door and through the canteen, there are toilets at the far side of the canteen behind the vending machine,
Okay.
which will be easier for the boys and the girls because the girls have got a code on it.
I would be for him, but he goes.
I don't think it'd be a problem either way, but yeah. It's through the locker room.
Thank you.
That's okay.
This was produced by 3D printer. Yeah.
That's right. So
Does that include the colour?
no.
No.
So the white bit at the bottom is unfinished.
Yeah.
That's what, as it came off my printer, with no extra work done to it.
If you
Then I
now
handed it over
down
to the guys in
control,
the
you can
paint
get
shop
back out
here,
that way.
and they did, I think, 2 layers of filler primer. And after the first layer, they sanded it down until they saw the ridges of the 3D print texture. Then they put another layer of primer down, sanded that off, and sprayed it. And that was only one extra stage compared to the standard prep. Is that right?
Yeah, there's one extra layer of high-build primer in there.
So how long have you actually been working on this project together?
Oh, well, it's been going 3 months.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
So it's in its infancy really.
From ground zero. Yeah.
Yes.
And have you got sort of a, how long is this going on for? Are you a year or what are you doing?
I know, if it
Did you
works.
say something like a rolling 4-month notice or something like that?
I'm not sick of him yet. We're working on the basis that either of us can walk away if we get sick of each other.
Yes.
So if I get to the point where I don't like Alex anymore and boot him out the depot, then we'll stop. If Alex gets finally sick of me, Alex gets finally sick of me and says, this isn't working, we're not achieving what we needed to achieve because I can't get access to my printer or whatever, then he will pick up his toys and go home as well. But at the moment, we've got a printer in a site that's with access 24/7, and actually, as we're manned 24/7, it means that Alex can make a phone call at 10 at night and say, this print should finish about 2:30, can you peel it off the bed and press this button to start it again? And my night guy can do that, and Alex gets more productivity out of the machine. So at the moment, the benefits work quite well between us.
100%.
If it stops, then we'll have a separate discussion like adults, or we'll walk away. But at the moment, I'm very happy with what we're doing and how it's working.
Yep.
Hello.
Question for you.
Why can that printer thingy only do red?
Oh, it can do
Excellent
loads of
question.
colours. So this one's white.
Oh,
we go.
yeah, right.
And the reason it's different colours is that it comes on a little reel of that colour. But there's nothing stopping us swapping colour halfway through. And 3D printing, this is only one kind of 3D printing. There are at least 8 different kinds of 3D printing that I know of. And some of them you can print in colour. Actually, full colour. But those are super expensive. And
But it isn't £5.
yeah, easily. Mine's £1,000. Those are a bit more. But you can print any colour you like, or you could make it white and then you could paint it.
Don't spend £1,000 on a printer because you'll spend your entire life fiddling with it. Spend the time on CAD, draw up what you want to produce, and then email it to Alex or other competitors are available.
Yep.
Email it to somebody and they'll send you your partner Jiffy bag and you'll have it the next day.
That's a good move. Yeah.
That is
3D Hubs. There's a website
Yeah.
called 3D
Instead
Hubs
of
you can go on.
waiting until you've got £1,000.
Yes, saving up pocket money to get £1,000 is
Even better, find something your friends might like and sell it to them.
Yeah.
And then you can save up your £1,000 really fast.
You can print out swappable cards. There's your plan. There's a business model there. And then come when you're about 16. What's our insurance? 16 or 18. When you're working age, come and see me. Talk to me about jobs or apprenticeships.
That'll be about 2018 or something. Probably about
Okay.
20, I think, when I start working.
20? Okay. I'll have a chat with your dad about that.
Yeah.
See how long he's willing to keep subsidising you for. Okay. Any more questions? Thank you very much, everybody. I'll take you back downstairs and finally take this jacket off.
That's a cool jacket. You should leave it on.
It's really not cool when you're on this side of it, I assure you. Right, I'll take you back down the stairs and take you back out into the sunshine.
So is there another tour around here today?
2 o'clock and 3 o'clock.
2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Brilliant. I'll be down in the engineering bit messing around. I might even, I smelled some curry going by me.
Yes. Oh, is the big machine doing anything?
It's about to play the Imperial March from Star Wars musically.
Of course it is.
It's not printing anything yet.
Why would it do that? I think that was the bus phase.
Why is that a raw air here? Weird. What? No, you're not allowed to take it. Oh no, I'll ask him. I'll ask him quickly.
Most of them, yeah.
Would you be able to have like, so for the roof on LED lights, and then you can have a lit up ones where the actual bus is? That'd be too expensive.
Yeah, you start putting anything on paper on buses and it's expensive. Have you seen our app?
Yes, I have, but I live rural, so I don't use myself. I live in Bedford, so.
That's nice. Buses still on.
They are, yeah.
It becomes more useful then, because if you go on the app, you can turn a little slider on and show you where the vehicles are.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so we can, the cost of doing it at the bus stop is expensive.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice.
And the cost of it, of putting hardware in the bus stops is expensive.
Yeah.
But if I can use other people's hardware and just give them an app, you press the button, it shows you where the bus is.
Yep.
That is the direction we'll go, because it's much cheaper and easier for us to develop, and actually we can do it better. Because I can tell you the bus number, the driver's name, how fast the vehicle's going, all of this stuff, rather than go and put
Stuff on the bus stop.
100 quid for the bus stop on
That's fair enough.
every bus stop. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I
Good.
loved it.
Good?
Let's go then.
Okay, right, nice to meet you all.
Quick question.
Hello.
Why is there a rail air coach here?
Because we do the repair and maintenance for them. So they then, it's run by First Group, but their nearest depot is in Slough. So to run, they'd have to start every morning in Slough and then run the buses to Reading, drive them to the bus stop, to the railway station, and then drive to Heathrow. So they pay us to do the maintenance, and their drivers start here as well.
There you go. That makes sense.
All part of a commercial arrangement.
Thank you very much. Thank
I
you.
need to find my darling one.
me to this screen here and post. Go slightly across, I can. Right, just do the last post. No, let me find your TikTok. Like here, slightly look towards the note. That is actually fuck.
Whoops. Whoops.
Michael, you better come with me quickly. Well, I might bring you up the bathroom. Mine?
Thank you.